No, no live. Oh, dag it.
Yeah. Oh,
Redo it.
let's go for it. Let's do this, Tyra.
Okay,
Hi,
I didn't know.
everybody.
I was
Go, go,
waiting for you to
go,
remove the
Tyra.
fix. Okay, ready and go.
Go. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Education Rampage, Shattering Expectations. We are here to just provide you so much value and resources, and again, information on how to just improve your lives, make it better and bigger in every possible way. And Tyra's definitely going to share with you our first installment of what we're going to be talking about, shattering the expectations when it comes to money, and why we are so passionate on this rampage of getting this education out to you. Tyra, all yours.
Excellent, excellent. Well, welcome, Facebook fam or social media fam. Great to have you guys on. Really hoping just to really, again, educate and empower. So moving forward, you can make really wise decisions and feel confident in the decisions that you make. So, like Lauren said in the first installment, we are going to talk about how money grows. Um, Many people don't know that there are actually three ways to make money grow. A lot of people who have money, they probably have somebody that they've hired to help them with this so they don't have to think about it. But my thing is like, don't you want to know how money grows to make sure that you're on the right path, that you're confident about what's going on? I really am not comfortable putting my money in someone else's hands, because especially if they don't care about me, don't like me, or don't know me, and maybe to them I'm just a number, a dollar amount, a face. So today we want to talk about the three ways that money can grow. So if you look at, we have our graphs here, just, I think visual helps a lot of people understand. Finance could be such a tricky topic. It could be kind of difficult to understand, but we're going to simplify it today. So let's look at the first way, fixed. So if you look at the graph on fixed, you'll notice that it's just a basic, steady line. So usually fixed accounts are your banks. There's usually little to no rate of return. The one thing that fixed accounts do offer you is safety. A lot of the banks, you'll see the FDIC approved, meaning that if anything happens, the banks are guaranteed to make sure that you get your money. Again, but the only thing is there's no growth in that. Now, where do the majority of people, especially those who aren't financially educated, where do they usually turn when they're looking for that resource? A lot of people turn to the banks. I know I did. Before I got into the financial industry, because I didn't know anything else. There was no other resources to say, hey, there's other options. But we're going to, share with you today that there are other options. You'll notice the middle graph. That's a variable account, and those will be your stock markets, your 401k retirement plans, your 403b retirement plans, your 457 government retirement plans. And you'll notice in that particular graph, it looks like either like a little heart attack sign, or could be a roller coaster where you have uh, the highs and the lows. Uh, what's one thing that could be exciting but difficult with these particular types of accounts? You really can't control it. You'll notice that when COVID hit, that line was up and down all over the place. And imagine your 401k being in that particular account, but you have absolutely no control what happens to it. How scary is that? Imagine you just getting ready to retire, and then all of a sudden that roller coaster just takes a big swoop down. Well, you're getting ready to retire, so it's not like you have the time to recoup that money back. How scary. But then, you have some people who like that. They like the excitement of the roller coaster, of the up and down, of, the potential of getting really high highs. But again, who wants the really low lows? So the potential in these accounts is that there are high risk of returns, but then there's also high risk of losing a lot of money. But again, that's another option of where you could put your money.
Hey,
What
Tyra,
I've
let me chime in real
Yeah,
quick,
please, please.
because I think it's really important. I think when you started us off today, you kind of talked about how someone else is in charge of your money. We're kind of handing it over, and right here, our goal today is to make sure you have more of that control
I
with
love
this
that.
education. So these fixed accounts, yes, they're banks and they're everywhere. We know where our money's at, but look at inflation. What's happening
Mhm.
right now? Like, our banks cannot keep up with inflation, the
Exactly.
money that you're getting on with that on the return. So that's a big one, because that's something we're experiencing, right now within our society. These variable accounts, yes, I love roller coasters, right? Like, I love them, but not when it comes to my money. I don't want those highs and lows. But most of us have our money in variable accounts. And, those are your 401ks, teacher background 403bs. Like, our money is there, but there's absolutely no guarantees on our money, which people don't know, or they learn the hard way when it comes to those accounts. So, I think just really having people understand, like, these two accounts, the bank safety, but you can't control the growth on that one at all.
Exactly.
Variable, you have absolutely no control.
Exactly.
Pretty much going on a roller coaster without a harness on
Yeah.
these accounts,
Yep.
So, I think it's so important for people to understand when it comes to their money. Okay, this is where it's at. Where else do you have your money? Because I know before learning about finances, I only had these two options, and I knew nothing
Exactly.
else.
Same here.
Then Tyra, you're going to share with us the next option that is like,
Yeah.
mind
But even back to what you were saying about inflation in these fixed accounts. I mean, look at the interest rate on some of these savings accounts, a 0.01%. Like, and not even a penny, like a negative of a penny interest that you're making. But you get a credit card and all of a sudden it's like 22%. It's like, okay, the bank clearly is not your friend, But again, if that's the only resource or the only option that you're aware of, then what are you to do? But my favorite way that money can grow is indexed. And what is that? That is a hybrid of both the fixed and the variable. And what you'll notice is, and so the indexed accounts are really, so let me go back a little bit. So fixed accounts are banks, variables, again, those are investment institutions, okay? And then indexed are life insurance and financial institutions. And so the beautiful thing about these accounts is you'll notice the same roller coaster, in the variable. However, the beautiful thing about these accounts is that you'll notice there's like a little lock. If we were to blow this picture up, there's like little locks on it. And so what ends up happening is that these accounts are not in a stock market. They're merely mirroring the stock market. So when the stock market takes an upswing to a certain extent, you get to capture some gains in that particular account. But let's say, hey, when COVID hit, people were like losing their money. The beautiful things about these accounts is you don't lose any money. It locks your money. So whatever the principal protection that you had in that account, whatever money you gained in that account is now safely locked. And that is now your new minimum. And let's say, the stock market takes an upswing and you're back going up them stairs. And if it drops again, bam, it locks your money in. So again, there's the safety of having that fixed accounts. Again, you're protecting your luck and gains. You're protecting the principal that's in it. Another cool thing, there's no fees in these particular accounts. That's another thing I like. And it's tax deferred. Whereas in the other accounts, like fixed accounts, you get taxed on these accounts on the interest gained every year. So that's one of the beautiful things that I love about the indexed accounts. But again, a lot of people were not aware. And so this was mind blowing to me that this was even a particular option. I mean, these are tax advantage accounts in some instances if you do cash value life insurance policies. But that's another story, another series, another time. But there's so much information.
It's so powerful because we're, like you're saying, we're talking about banks, right? Fixed account, banking with a bank. Variable accounts, these are your bank within your job, right? These are usually what your job offers you. And then these index accounts, you're banking with life insurance. Why wasn't that taught to us? Yeah. I know when we sit down with people and we talk about life insurance, they're either for it or so against it, but not knowing really why.
Exactly.
And not understanding why the wealthy utilize it and create generational wealth. Don't you think there might be something behind that negativity that they want us to feel, that have that
exactly
negative attitude, or like, no, it's so wrong? No, I think there's a bigger issue behind there why we don't know about it. Don't take me there, Tyra.
I think that's why we got the 2%, and then we have the 98% of the rest of us hardworking Americans.
Right. But I mean, once you understand, the options out there. And get to learn, and how the wealthy, they always say the wealthy get wealthier, they get richer. Well, it's because they've been passed on all this information.
Exactly.
And they don't shut things out. They're saying, okay, what are other people doing that are kind of have this in their portfolio, or just on how they're managing their money? And we're not being taught those things. So I think this is a really crucial point when it comes to money, and and making sure that everybody understands, hey, there's these different avenues, not just one.
Exactly. And I like how you said portfolio. I remember before I got into this industry, I thought that having a portfolio was only for rich people. Like I had no clue what a portfolio was. And I didn't realize it was just a matter of what different institutions or what different vehicles are you utilizing to grow this money, you know? And I think once you have that understanding, it's like, wow, you know, a lot of people have their eggs merely in one basket, one or two. If you're working for a company and they're giving you a 401k, then more than likely you have a bank account and then you have a variable account. But again, those two aren't very safe. So to now add this third bucket to where, regardless of whatever the market does, you're protected, at least in one account. How beautiful is that? Because I mean, I have some clients who have 20,000, 50,000 in a savings account, and they're literally making like 50 cents a month in interest
Yeah.
and not realizing that there are accounts where you can actually make up to a 50, there are index accounts you can make up to a 15% interest, 0.01 or 15%,
Right.
you know? And I will say, even with the variable, if you know, we can get into this a little bit deeper another time, but if you look at variable accounts, you could be invested in the S&P 500, the Hang Seng, the Euro stock. But they did a 20-year study where they were showing how accounts that, even though they were making maybe a 40% interest, you know, one year, they may have lost a 30% another year and then back up and back down. They did that 20-year spread to show that the indexed accounts outperformed the variable, I think by like 8%,
Right.
you know, with all the highs and lows. So some people may say, oh, well, the index, they're capped at a certain amount. Yeah, but you're not losing any money.
Right.
So would you rather high, low, and maybe it works? Or would you like that guaranteed staircase to make sure that there's constant growth in your account? And again, the index accounts outperformed. So to me, that's a 20-year study. I mean, you know, and that went back to, I think 2020 was the last year that they did that study. So
That steady. Yeah. And I think, I think
yeah,
it's also
yeah.
a great thing to point out. And it comes to temperament, right? I mean, everyone has a temperament when it comes to their money. But I think, when you
Mhm.
have your money in these like variable accounts where you want those high gains, right? But you also you're going to get those very like major losses. But it's
Mhm.
also if you have your eggs in all in one basket, like you said, then that's like crucial. Like you don't even want to look at your account. But when you're diversified
Mhm.
and have money in those places, those highs and lows usually might not affect you too much. Plus, depending how old you are, like you might, if you're young enough,
Mhm.
you might have a
Yep.
couple years to make up for that. But a lot of people, especially like our baby boomers right now, like they don't have that kind of
Yeah.
time to make up for it. So, where are they going to go? What are their options? And so I think it's so important that to make sure everyone knows this information for our generation, for
Yeah.
the generations to come,
Yeah.
just to have that understanding of it. So I think, thank you so much, Tyra, for
Yeah.
breaking it down for us, because I think it's so important
Yeah.
that everyone knows this and learns how to apply it.
Mhm.
And if you have any questions about, these different accounts and, to kind of dive deeper on what it is that you already have, feel free to reach out to us, ask questions, wherever you're seeing our video, definitely comment. And so we can provide some more feedback to you, maybe something more specific to what you're going through. But,
Mhm.
Again, we're shattering expectations here because
Mhm.
we're expected just to put money in these two accounts, right?
Exactly.
And no, like there's other options, and these are just some of them. There's so much more, but these are definitely the main ones that we wanted to bring to our friends and family, and make sure that you're aware of this.
Mhm.
And really, okay, look at your money right now. Okay, where do you have your money now? Do you understand what it's actually doing, and do you want your money to do that? Because if you
Exactly.
don't, then you have options. Like you can
Exactly.
definitely take action. And maybe most of them, I can almost guarantee, Tyra, that most individuals probably know who they have their 401k with, but have never probably sat with anybody, or their 401k company has never called them
Right.
and told them
Right.
anything about their account. They might not be able to get a hold of anybody of who has their account.
Yep.
Or if you worked at a different company, what is your 401k doing at another company that you're not even a part of? What do you think that money is doing? Right?
Exactly. Exactly.
Like,
That was actually a really good point, Lauren. A lot of people, they leave a company and they leave their 401k, not realizing you can either roll it over to the new company that you're with, or there's other vehicles out there where you can roll it over and again into these indexed accounts where you're not suffering a loss. And I remember when I had my 401k with the company, I didn't know how it worked, how it was taxed. And I remember the agent that was there setting it up, and she's like, "Oh, I picked this one for you." And I said, "Well, pick what?" She's like, "I just picked this 401k. I picked it for myself. It'll work out." And I'm thinking like, well, you don't even know me. Like you didn't get to want to know me to find out, is that going to be the best thing for me? Or did you educate me on why you gave that one to me? What does that mean? What does that look like? All she said was every year just keep putting more money into it. And I'm like, okay, I still don't even know what that means. I didn't know it got taxed. I literally thought your 401k was a big old pot you just threw money into. And then when you got, when you finally decided to retire, you just had this big old nice pot waiting for you. Yeah, no, I didn't know it was invested in variable accounts and that you can lose chunks out of it. And like you said, with the baby boomers, how scary, there are people literally getting ready to retire. COVID hits. COVID stock market, people lost over hundreds of thousands of dollars. Couldn't recoup that. And then what happens right after COVID? The freaking war. Again, something else we cannot control. So now some people who were going to retire, probably it's not going to happen. And it's really, really sad. And it's all because of the lack of information. So that's where me and Lauren want to be. We want to be these mouthpieces to say, no, there's resources out there. Please, we're only two people. So, we could use the help just to get this message out there, to spread the message, because we work hard and we deserve the same, opportunity to be financially free as the people with a lot of money. And you can build growth, you can build wealth, especially generational wealth. And, and so I'm excited for what we're going to be doing with these series and just everything as a whole. I'm just really excited, and I hope that everybody here is excited. And again, like Lauren said, please chime in, share a story, that can help somebody else, because you don't know, your story can completely help somebody else and change somebody else's lives. Maybe, ask questions. We may not know the answers to everything, but best believe we'll get you the answer.
Oh, that's for sure.
We have a lot of resources, a lot of tools, a lot of companies, a lot of really great A-rated companies on our platform that we're able to pull from and really be able to help, clients out and tailor something specifically for you, not just because you're a name and a number, but because you're a human being and you have goals and dreams for the future,
Okay.
So we want to be that resource. So I think y'all gonna be in good hands.
Yes, they are. Of course, because as we're learning, we're bringing it to everybody, and and it's just a powerful way to just share what we know. And so, thank you for joining us, no matter what time of day it is, or from wherever part of the nation or the country or the world. Tyra, I don't know. This is going to go worldwide, I hope. But so thank you for everyone who's joined in and listened. Again, we are here to provide as much service to you with the knowledge that we're going to bring to you. Again, we're here on an education rampage because we're going to just bring it to you. We want to make sure that we are making an impact, because we've seen the impact in our own lives by learning it for ourselves. And now it's time to bring it to everybody else, because if it helped us, we know it can help you for sure.
Definitely.
And so thank you for joining us. Tyra, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
You too, my beautiful love.
And then we'll see everybody next week.
Woohoo!
All
Have
right,
a great day, everybody.
Take care.